Good Friday morning, Mount Olive family, friends of Mount Olive, all you tuning in to watch another Friday devotion. We appreciate each one of you for taking your time to watch all of the devotions from each one of us during the week. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Hopefully. Okay, so I'm following up on Pastor TJ's message from Sunday, I believe, it's part 3, There is a God. And he used as his theme verse, John 14:1, where Jesus said, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." Jesus talking to the disciples at the Last Supper. And then Pastor used a little graphic that he said that we can believe in God in 3 ways, and by cause, design, or the law. Cause being the law of cause and effect, where he went up there and had all the dominoes lined up. And, the dominoes would not tumble over by themselves. There had to be a cause to start the dominoes. And then the effect was them falling. So, basically, that's what we want to say about creation. Creation, there had to be a cause. There had to be something before. Even if you believe the Big Bang Theory, what caused the Big Bang? We don't, there has to be something, and we believe that God spoke, all the creation into existence. And then he talked about design, how intricately our planet is put together, how that we're in the right distance from the sun. We're not too close, we're not too far. We're at the right angle. That the gravity is just the right amount for us. And so all of that, our earth is put together that we should be able to know, believe in God just by how things, by what we can see in nature. And then law, and that is what I want to do my devotion on, is what he talked about in the law. And he says that law is the natural law, the moral code, the expectancy of behavior, the ought to. And natural law puts forth that there is placed into man by God a universal moral code that helps to dictate what men do and do not. That there are actions that are reasonable and others that are not. Let's look at the verses from Pastor TJ used on Sunday, and that's in Romans 2:14 and 15. It says, "For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, thus having not the law, are law unto themselves." Verse 15 says, "Which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the mean while accusing or else excusing one another." Paul is saying that there are those people who have never heard the law, who act according to the law because it is written on their hearts and in their conscience. So who wrote it there? God did. And Paul's saying that this natural law of knowing good and evil, right and wrong, is written on men's hearts. Who wrote it there? God did. Paul says that there's enough of this moral, natural law in us that we are without excuse. Let's take a look at Romans chapter 1, verse 20. He says, "For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are not, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse." The natural law that God wrote on each of our hearts was a forerunner to the gospel of salvation. The natural law could not save us because we live in a sin-cursed world, and a natural law is influenced and affected by the world. The gospel of salvation, Christ's death on the cross and his resurrection from the dead, is the only means of salvation for fallen men living in a fallen world. God uses law, the need for order instead of chaos, the need for accord instead of discord, to show man that there is a God and that we should believe in him. And as Pastor TJ asked us for responsive reply on Sunday morning, when he said, "I believe," we responded, "In God." And I hope each one of you do. I hope that you are able to realize that through each of these, through the cause and effect, what was there behind the creation of all this? Through the intricacy of how this plan is put together and our bodies is put together, and then the law that is written in our hearts. Not after we're saved, but this knowledge of knowing that there is right things to do and wrong things to do. That we know there is a need for law, and that came from God. I pray that each one of you know Him as your personal Savior. If you don't, then you have an open invitation. No matter where you are, no matter what you've done, God is there for you. He's there to accept you. He's there to forgive you of whatever sins that you may have committed. I pray that you will be much in prayer for this Sunday's service. Be much in prayer for Brother TJ as he brings the message. Be much in prayer for those who may come who do not know the Lord in the free pardon of sin, that they will see their need for a Savior. I appreciate it. Love each one of you, and we'll see you hopefully Sunday morning.